on it all. You know, we were dealing with the problems that society, the council and the police do not address and do not deal with. Homelessness. By the end of it, the majority of the people on site were either homeless or have been homeless. Some young kids who've been on the streets from 12 years old. This is the stuff that we need to address. Alcoholism. We're a nation of alcoholics, and in true alcoholic style, we're in denial. We don't think we're a nation of alcoholics. Yes, we are. It started because ale was safer to drink than water. I don't do that. I'm just buying time here as far as I'm aware. People doing this when people are speaking is what's destroying this movement. Well, I started speaking because no one was doing calm and with all due respect, right? If someone tells me that someone's ready to speak, I'll shut up. Right, Racheal's ready to speak. I'm going to wrap this up then, and I'll go until 1. Oh, can you spare me 4 minutes? The reason Occupy Manchester failed was because when Tricky, myself, other people who'd been on demonstrations like the airport in Swampy and all the rest of it, were not given 5 minutes to tell everyone their history and where they'd come from. If we'd have all allowed people to do that, Occupy Manchester would be going strong and there would be satellite sites here, there and everywhere. But because we didn't, 2.5 weeks in, I put a whiteboard up that said, who are you? What's your name? What's your history? It went rather well, but it was 2.5 weeks after we started. So I would say this is a learning curve. We now have to plan, run it like a business, brand it, market it, all the things we hate, use the system to destroy it. Now, I think I've said all the things I wanted to say. What I would like to say is what brought me here today. Brian Hall brought me here today. Ken Keating brought me here today. Many other people, if you know me on Facebook, you've heard all my spiel. John Lennon, Bob Marley, Tupac, they wrote the soundtrack. Gandhi and all the rest of them, they've done the quotes. Let's bring this revolution home and let's start it today. I'll even give up my 2 minutes. Let's have 2 minutes silence.
Thank you very much indeed. It's a wonderful speech. Next up we've got Racheal.
Up until now I've ad-libbed my speeches and I've ad-libbed my activities. Look what's happened to the site. I'm going to give you a brief history of the site and then a few words of hope at the end. Like I say, I wouldn't normally script it, but it's so long, 3 or 4 minutes, you'll have to bear with me. Recently, Occupy Manchester has received negative press in relation to our campsite and its law-abiding occupation of common land next to our beautiful 350-year-old town hall. We cooperated closely with the police and even the local authority, the corporation of the City of Manchester, to ensure that common law was upheld and the local acts such as no drinking in public. We cleaned the site better than they did, said one council worker on the 5th or the 6th day of occupation. The camp organised itself by consensus and was guarded and cleaned regularly. After about a week and a half to 2 weeks, more and more local homeless people and people with drink and drug problems, who we should all, as a society, have strived to help more decades ago, and who would use the park anyway, began to somewhat outnumber those people who were running the camp. As decent human beings, we offered them food and shelter so that they should be receiving from our broken state. But having not the skills needed to really police the site, in the Chief Inspector's words, nor the powers, the council expected this from the outset on that particular site. It soon became pretty unsafe from both a personal safety point of view, whether it's needles, assault, antisocial behaviour, and for our security, that is the theft of several high-priced, high-value, bloody useful items, i.e. laptops. The police rewarded us for our cooperation by responding to serious assaults 2 hours later with one officer who parked 4 blocks away. Sorry, I didn't know Manchester. This guy was sent to us by the Manchester Bronze Control, which controls an area of about 5 high-priority square miles, including a banking district. The site suffered from a lack of organisation as the activists left due to fears, and became harder and harder to police. The cause was correct, but that site was not. Our response was not appropriate. To quote another police officer, lower ranking this time, only a Sarge, we should have responded to antisocial behaviour by exercising our common law right to remove people committing crimes, or even arrest them and call in the blues. Instead, any association with law and order officials was opposed on camp, and, as mentioned earlier, the police were artificially slow to respond to us. Certain members have suggested conspiracies. I happen to know that since the third or so night, they had a "if we don't see it, we're not bothered" attitude. They knew we drink, they knew we smoke, they wanted to leave us to get on with it. I can understand it from their point of view. They didn't want the extra hassle. And when the council offered us Peace Gardens, they at least guessed that we might have further problems with antisocial behaviour in that admittedly scummy, according to council staff, park. I'm nearly done. Anyways, 3 days before the premature and surprise council clean-up, they came on Thursday. They gave us till tomorrow till move, in writing. Most members had sat it down and left 3 days before they came. We cleaned up most of our rubbish on Wednesday night and left a small population of local homeless people who refused to help clean up and refused to leave. Couldn't take the tents, they were sleeping in them. Would you do that to another human being, even if they were abusing you? Probably not. The police might, but we couldn't bring ourselves to do that. One of them was boiling water over a plastic paint bucket with a fire in it, using equipment and rubbish from the site as fuel. And he reacted defensively to us, asking what he was doing. This was the first open fire that I'd seen on the site, apart from our brand new gas stoves. We were very concerned with health and safety, but like I say, it went a bit to pot at the end. Where am I? Inappropriately sized tents, may I add. Our health was at risk, especially on that last day, and especially with the useless police response. So we had to leave those people and some structures. Any cost that Manchester City Council incurred cleaning up the site could have been prevented by their useless housing department years ago, not by blaming us. Also, the Evening News, they've posted lies on their website about the council incurring thousands in costs. Not only was the trash no more than the level normally left by local drunks and people chilling in a known scum hole, but it was regular council staff that were on anyway. 3 of them spent an hour cleaning it. That's first-hand information as well. Well, second-hand, because I'm telling you. That rag, the Evening News, should check their facts before they print them. One of the highlights of my day is responding to the offers of free papers with, "It's illegal to hand out lies in the street." I've had everything from giggles to, "It's just a job, mate." But I've never had any of them say, "We don't print lies." The police don't oppose us yet. We have 2 named officers watching us, watching over. They are our watchmen. They are not the Gestapo. They are not like the London police. They're our friends. Please treat them as such. Anyway, those people who left, or they never came because of the state of the site when they saw it, still want to do this. People who've been here since the start, and people who have just arrived today and are just starting to hear us now. And those of you here today, see as I see, feel as I feel that our society is broken, that life should be put above gold and property. We feel that massive change is underway. Manchester's candle hasn't quite dwindled yet, despite the lack of a site. Let's plan today to get a fire going. We do not forgive, we do not forget. And can I play the way, Sears? No. Whoa!